Is it me you were hoping to see?
Holy shit, que é isso? Acho que nem o Rifo me sabe.
Figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Eu não sei, mundo.
What happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So if one of them happens to be a serial killer, you should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
Eu não sei se é bem assim que funciona. Oh, minha nossa! Ok, desculpa. Digo, Genocide Jill.
Like they
Nem fala.
say, murderous mind, sound, and murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
Eu não entendi essa metáfora, mas tudo bem.
Soul lives another that shines as bright as the
Você continua fazendo metáforas. Tudo bem, essa risada foi um pouco assustadora, mas eu vou deixar passar dessa vez. Esse é o diabólico assassino Genocide Jack? Isso é além de insano.
Miss Jack,
O rosto deve estar todo molhado agora.
What's that?
Oh, ela tá fofa.
The mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
O filme tá literalmente: por favor, não me mate, mesmo estando do seu lado.
I'm the mastermind of all masterminds. Just kidding.
Ah, tá.
It's not true?
Não, é claro que não,
It's
Makoto.
not true. How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid?
Eu jamais teria feito isso, Monokuma.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Holy shit.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
No pain, no gain, right?
Well, if you want to survive, the act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Ai, meu Deus, como eu não gosto desse personagem, cara. E o Makoto está tipo: minha nossa, isso é muito perigoso, eu deveria sair daqui.
This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Porém,
Very, very, very.
ela se expôs matando ela do jeito do Genocide Jack.
As much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Eu sinceramente não suspeitava tanto assim depois que você se revelou. Teria sido fácil demais.
Anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion. Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Eu acredito.
I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Seu monstro, eu não vou acreditar em nada que você tenha a dizer. Digo, por um lado, eu meio que acredito nela. Talvez ela esteja certa sobre isso, mas talvez ainda há alguma coisa me incomodando. O que ela disse, eu preciso de mais detalhes sobre tudo isso. E ok, vamos para a nossa primeira rodada de argumentos. Pelo menos há um tempo já que eu não faço essa rodada. E a nossa Truth Bullet é o estado do corpo, tudo bem.
But do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Eu acredito, Sakura.
You had an alibi. That would change things. Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
Você tem um alibi?
Compare your past
Um álibi quer dizer?
this incident. The modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need?
Calma lá. Meu Deus. Ok.
You killed her.
Tá legal. Eu acho que sei o que é. Deve ser aquilo que o Byakuya falou sobre como que o corpo tava.
You say that.
Eu não acredito que esteja exatamente como nos casos do Genocide Jack. Se vocês viram o arquivo, vocês sabem exatamente como que era o caso do Genocide Jack.
The modus operandi
E não, Byakuya, não era exatamente o mesmo. Ô, Luciano, por favor, que eu esteja certo sobre a minha teoria. Porque
The methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so
tem
sure
pelo
about
menos
that.
uma coisa que é
I think
diferente.
there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Sim.
How's it any different?
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Nossa, ela foi bem rude agora, mas... É,
Passion and
tesouras, cara, é exatamente isso.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
What the fuck? Tá legal, eu não sei se eu acompanhei essa metáfora, mas...
Creation of mine.
Aliás, sua associação, mas
Let me
tudo bem.
rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense.
É, por favor.
There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and
Espera,
this one.
duas? Tem uma diferença clara entre os assassinatos. Nas fotos dos casos do Genocide Jack, nós podemos ver os seus pescoços e estômagos. Tinha uma diferença clara. Era a ferida da vítima, o que fez ela morrer.
For one, the cause of death is different.
Exatamente.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Uma tesoura
According
no...
to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Ok, será que é isso então?
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
Talvez não,
And there's
talvez...
more. One more conflicting detail.
Pera, tem mais um.
Right? In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini,
What the...
the
Toco!
arrangement of the body would be the pesto.
A gente pode parar de falar de receitas e comidas aqui? Eu tô ficando com fome, cara.
Please stop comparing killing people to cooking.
É, obrigado, Yasuhiro.
Are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
É isso mesmo. A segunda diferença relacionada nas fotos de Genocide Jack, nos casos, todas as vítimas foram esfaqueadas em suas próprias mãos. E tem uma diferença clara. É como ela foi usada pra suspender o corpo. Exatamente, ela usava tesoura.
Remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up
Não
on
é
the
uma
wrist.
tesoura isso.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
A tesoura. Eu falei tesoura 3 vezes.
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
Shit.
Guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use.
Entretanto... ok, tá bom, desculpa, vou deixar você falar.
Differences, but he's wrong.
Pera, quem?
Big Man?
Listen up, Big Man. There's actually one more difference.
What the fuck? Give me back!
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
O quê?
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
Padrão? Pera,
Figure that
será que...
out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Ok, eu já sei o que pode ser. Vamos ver. Tem um padrão envolvendo as vítimas do Genocide Jack que não se encaixa na Chihiro. Se olhar os nomes das vítimas, o que eu posso perceber? Eu acho que eu já descobri. Eu sei por que ela não poderia ter matado a Chihiro. Porque, meu Deus, o nome, todos os nomes e todas as fotos eram de caras. E a Chihiro era uma garota. Então, meu Deus, eu tava certo. Eu já tinha suspeitado isso desde o início.
Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money.
Yes!
Talking about.
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Todos aqueles nomes, cara, Ken Harada, Tetsuro Horonda, Sashibori, Tsuge Mato, Nandemonaya, Kimi no Nawa, Kotamura no Ken, Nataka Wata, Watashi, Yakedo.
They were all guys?
É.
Right, the people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men. I can't believe I said it. I'm so embarrassed.
Legal, cara. Eu também não sei.
The full throttle boy on boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
É.
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just
Para de fazer associação com comida, cara!
I have too much
Por favor, não me
passion
mata.
and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. That's not all there is to it.
É, já entendemos.
Different matter entirely.
Será que
When you're
pode calar a
forced to
boca?
kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lolicon!
What the fuck? Eu não acredito que ela chamou ele de vira-lata.
Never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And
Holy
by some
shit.
fluke, I did kill to survive.
Por que a música parou?
Why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
É exatamente disso que eu tava falando desde o início. Não faz sentido ser ela.
Does make some amount of sense. Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Ah,
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
é uma possibilidade.
I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Tá bom.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Ah, não. Holy shit, ela tem duas tesouras no meio da classe. Mano, como? Cadê você?
He's fully equipped.
Minha nossa, cara.
Anywhere, anytime.
Ela pode matar qualquer um de nós.
The dumbbells are rough when I have my trusty scissors by my side. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you.
É, somos cachorrinhos, vira-latas.
Listen, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. The rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Eu também.
Such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Exceto.
That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Não, espera aí. Tinha mais uma pessoa. Uma pessoa que poderia ter copiado os casos do Genocide Jack. Meu Deus, era quem eu tava pensando. Não, eu não quero acreditar nisso, por mais que me doa dizer isso, mas... Byakuya, você é o principal suspeito agora.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you've already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Você não vai falar nada?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
What the fuck, Byakuya? Se defenda!
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was...
Para tentar colocar a culpa nela. Mas... Não faz... Ok, talvez faça sentido. Eu não queria estar pensando nisso. Eu não quero que o Byakuya seja culpado.
Rearrange the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
É... Ele foi direto pro armário das garotas, pro quarto do armário das garotas. O que ele suspeitava de lá? Tudo bem, nós tínhamos várias pessoas que poderiam ser os... Nós tínhamos várias pessoas que podiam ser
You wanted
a
to go to the
vítima.
girls' locker room right away, right? But
Mas
since
ainda
you're a
assim...
guy,
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say?
Não.
The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Sim, faz sentido, porém...
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
on the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then. What's so strange?
Tem algo me incomodando nisso tudo.
Share with the rest of the
Eu não sei bem o que é, mas... Tem algo claro que contradiz o que o Byakuya acabou de dizer. Tem que deixar isso claro pra todo mundo. Um novo alimento vai ser adicionado no non-stop debate. Eu não quero ouvir. Ok, aí vamos nós. Vai se tornar um pouco mais interessante o non-stop debate. E vocês vão ver por quê. Basicamente algumas coisas... Ok, o arquivo do Monokuma. Não, não era bem isso que eu provavelmente vou usar. Ok, eu acho que é assim que funciona. Pra ser sincero, eu não entendi muito bem o tutorial, mas... vamos aprender aqui agora.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Certo, eu posso pegar isso daqui pra mim. Basicamente eu posso pegar o que eles estão afirmando e usar como truth bullet, como uma contradição.
What's so strange about that?
Por enquanto nada. A única questão é... como que eu vou usar isso? Eu vi o que o Byaku tá falando da Chihiro ser uma garota e tudo mais, mas... Ok, eu acho que eu finalmente descobri. Levou muito tempo e eu tive que cortar bastante, mas... eu vou pegar essa truth bullet de antes de descobrirmos o corpo dela. Então, eu provavelmente vou ter que usar... aqui, a Chihiro. Porque ele não sabia que era Chihiro, embora... seja por eliminação e provavelmente desse para suspeitar que era ela, porque ela tinha sumido, mas enfim. Exatamente. Não tinha como saber. Eliminação, tudo bem, mas...
That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Diabo, por que você tá tão calmo? What the fuck?
Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Qual é da atitude do Byakuya? É como se ele não ligasse. Eu o encurralei, mas ele age como se não tivesse nada a ver com ele.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
What the fuck, Byakuya? Por que você tá tão forçado agora?
There is, I think.
Não tem. Oh.
Think about it.
Meu anjo da guarda.
About the differences between this case and past genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Eu acho que nem a Kyoko quer acreditar no Byakuya ser o culpado. Isso é tão estranho, cara. O jeito como ele tá agindo. A diferença entre os dois casos. A evidência de que prova que o Byakuya está escondido em algum lugar. Mas onde pode ser? Eu não quero acreditar que é o Byakuya. Ele tá calmo demais pra ser isso. Mas enfim, vamos para outro non-stop debate e ver o que vai ser. Não precisa. Tudo bem, até aí. Até aí tudo bem. Sim. É, até aí vocês estão falando óbvio.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before.
Oh, errado! Ué, what the fuck? Eu não acredito que eu errei isso. É sério, não. Esse era o truth bullet perfeito. Eu de primeiro ia conseguir acertar. Ele tinha visto sim, aquilo ali era a extensão. What the fuck, caraca, que saco. Tá legal, vamos passar logo. E... sim, você viu, Byakuya? Ah, fuck! Sim, você viu. E dessa vez eu acertei. No, that's wrong. Yeah. Toma na cara, Byakuya. Eu sei mais do que você agora.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
Ai, cara, por que ele tá mentindo?
That rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
Exatamente.
Extension cord?
É, eu sei, é difícil de acreditar, Rifumi, mas é verdade.
You've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time?
Não tinha como ele não reconhecer ela.
After the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
O problema é... Byakuya, fala alguma coisa!
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
Espera.
I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it.
Não, pera aí. Não, você tá errado. Ele não pode ter entrado no quarto dos armários das garotas, a não ser que ele tenha roubado. Ele tá fazendo isso de novo. Está totalmente calmo, sem nenhuma preocupação. É como se ele não estivesse envolvido nisso. Mas, espera, e se ele não estiver envolvido? É o que eu tô tentando dizer!
If you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
Não!
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
Cala a boca, Jill!
Right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Não, cara, isso não tá certo. Não pode ter sido Byakuya.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Vamos lá, Makoto.
Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
Não, cala a boca, Yasuhiro.
But still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Tem muita coisa me incomodando.
And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
A parte de você ter entrado. Espera. O que foi isso agora? Alguma coisa não tá certa. O corpo da Chihiro realmente foi encontrado no quarto do armário das garotas, mas isso significa que... Eu posso mesmo aceitar que o Byakuya tá dizendo a verdade? Não, eu acho que não. Definitivamente é algo no que ele disse. E é a cena do crime. Makoto, a cena foi trocada.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
Os posters são a
How
prova.
disappointing.
Meu Deus, tá tudo se
What kind
conectando.
of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Me desculpa, Byakuya, eu só queria poder te defender porque você é o meu
She
melhor
was
amigo.
found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that.
Não quero acreditar nisso, porque senão...
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Ok, vamos lá. Tem dois pôsteres trocados. O do quarto das garotas com o dos garotos. Não faz sentido aqueles pôsteres estarem lá. A não ser pelo fato de que o das garotas tinha sangue nele. Então a minha teoria é... Aliás, o dos garotos tinha sangue nele, que era daquela modelo. A minha teoria é... O assassino trocou os pôsteres pra não parecer que o crime tinha ocorrido no quarto errado. Então ele pudesse culpar outra pessoa, porque o pôster foi sujo de sangue, então ele tinha que colocar na cena do crime. E ele queria culpar uma das garotas.
I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later.
Também
along with
acho.
the rest of the murder scene.
Exatamente. Caraca.
The rest of the murder scene? That was
Byakuya?
awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Sim, eu tenho. São os
I
pôsteres.
do.
Vamos lá, Makoto. Ei, Byakuya, você acabou de abaixar sua guarda. É, ele com certeza fez isso. Quando a história foi para a cena do crime ter sido movido, o Byakuya não estava mais agindo tão confiante até agora. Talvez o Byakuya nunca tenha percebido que a cena foi realmente trocada. Talvez? Ou talvez...
Move on without permission? What do you mean she was killed somewhere
Talvez ele não quisesse que a gente tenha percebido.
If
Não.
there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Ou ele tá muito nervoso que a gente descobriu, ou ele não queria, ou ele não soube que a cena do crime foi mudada. E a prova que eu tenho pra isso é o pôster daquela modelo. Cadê? Aqui! Pôster da modelo da boy band. Exatamente! Nossa, eu sou um
Proof that she was killed
detetive!
somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Não qualquer pôster,
Poster in the
Byakuya.
girls'
É de uma
locker room
modelo
was
muito bonita.
Picture of a big boobed supermodel. Don't you think that's kind of strange?
Não, digo, ela tem um tamanho bem normal de peitos.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Cala a boca, Jill!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Eu não gosto de boy bands.
That doesn't really seem to belong in a boy's locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's
Sim.
one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
Não. A mancha não foi lavada. Ela não foi. Se eu me lembro bem, ela tava. Sem chances! Ela tava no outro quarto também! Aqui! Ela tava no quarto do armário de garotos! What the fuck?
I got it!
Eles mudaram toda a cena do
The stain
crime!
on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein
Meu Deus,
coffee.
isso é assustador.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Simples pra
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
culpar a outra pessoa. Alguém com acesso àquele quarto.
Even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Oh shit, calma.
To get into the locker rooms, you put
Não, calma aí.
card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access
Eu
to
sei.
the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker
Não,
room. to
calma.
begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Exatamente. Pera, será que ela roubou?
I highly doubt that.
Será que ela roubou
I'm telling you, I
o
know
handbook
how
de
to
alguém?
do it.
Tá, a única chance da Chihiro ter entrado seria se ela roubasse o handbook de alguém lá na sua rua principal. Naquela caixa de correio. Eu não sei, nós vamos ter que descobrir agora. Vamos lá, nosso argumento vai ser o do handbook quebrado. Ok, deve ser isso.
Possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Talvez.
She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Não, what the fuck é isso? Ok, calma. Parando pra pensar, eu acho que não era aquilo não. Eu não pensei direito.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Ok. Ele também acha que foi aquilo.
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Não foi o handbook do Leon. Isso, eu acertei. Nossa, de primeira ainda por cima. Não pode ter sido do Leon, porque o do Leon tava quebrado. Aliás, ele não tava quebrado,
I don't
mas...
think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Não tava, Makoto. O Monokuma disse.
Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible.
Ele só não tava...
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Ele só não funcionava bem, aparentemente.
Isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
Porém, não está.
She must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one,
É.
a security buzzer starts glowing.
Foi o que eu imaginei.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Calma aí, cara. Não tem alguma coisa de errado. Ela tem que ter conseguido entrar de algum jeito.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Não, calma! Não, ainda... Mas a gente ainda não sabe disso. What the fuck? Será que é isso, então? A Chihiro foi morta no quarto do armário das garotas e o Byakuya foi quem a matou. Mas ainda assim... Eu não sei o que eu posso fazer.
Hold on a second.
Uou! Meu Deus,
I agree with
Kyoko.
you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
Cala a boca,
There's
Mondo.
no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
Tem? É, tem!
Talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Pera, que? Uma pausa na trial? Isso é permitido, Monokuma.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting?
Vai ficar mais interessante.
Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Ok, vamos lá. What the fuck, cara, uma pausa. Então, antes de eu perceber o que estava acontecendo, a Class Trial foi posta em espera. Nós saímos com a Kyoko na liderança. E ela nos levou para... Ué, what the fuck, aqui de novo?
Girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
Não, não grita com a minha
I'd like
Kyoko.
you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Você quer que a gente cheque de
Be
novo?
sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully.
Ai, meu Deus do céu, Rifumi!
Using our hands?
Ai.
No, wait.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Porque numa viva eu consigo.
Freaked out or anything. It's just based on religious grounds.
Ah, claro, claro.
Very well. I'll do it.
Isso, Sakura, bota o pau na mesa. Quer dizer,
But you're a
você não
girl.
tem...
You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Oh, isso daí é
No,
machismo.
it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Meu Deus, a Sakura é tão... Ah, ela é tão maneira.
Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action?
Ah,
You two are
what the
about?
fuck, Itoko? Quer dizer, Jill.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse me.
Ah, isso não vai ser legal. Ela junta suas mãos, se prepara e então começa a examinar seu corpo.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
Ué, what the fuck? Sakura?
What is it?
Tá tudo bem?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Ué, what the fuck? Os olhos da Sakura estavam olhando ferozmente para o corpo da Chihiro. Ela estava tremendo completamente. What?
This girl is
Is what?
a boy.
O quê? Ué, o quê?
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting.
Rifumi?
Confirming this fact.
Como assim? Eu sei.
Right?
I
Não.
wouldn't joke about this.
What the fuck?
Ben, it's really true?
A waifu de todos vocês era um... Eu não acredito, cara.
Didn't know?
Mas como?
I knew that right off the bat.
Não me disse que era crossdressing. E o mano como sabia?
He was totally a guy.
What the fuck?
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire!
Meu Deus, Jill, what the fuck?
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
Kyoko, what the hell, cara?
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Eu tô sem palavras.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
É, eu acho que percebemos isso da pior maneira possível. Pensar que a Chihiro era, na verdade, um cara. Isso é demais para passar na minha cabeça.
Because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Oh, cara, eu tinha até me esquecido disso.
Handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male. Then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
Meu Deus do céu,
There
cara.
should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room.
Oh.
And was then later moved to the girls' locker
Sim!
room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or
Ah, tá
Junko's
fazendo
handbook
sentido.
to get into the girls'
Pera.
locker room.
É, talvez.
Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
Sim! E eles trocaram a
I
cena.
understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his
Que
female.
horror, Byakuya.
This is the most titillating situation!
So
Jill!
now
Isso é pior ainda.
everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Não! What the fuck? É qualquer um menos ele.
Interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Não, é claro que
Well,
não.
Without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
É,
But,
tudo bem, mas...
I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first
Pessoas
place?
mudam Rifumi!
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Byakuya,
And
vamos lá.
Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
What the fuck, Byakuya?
Fucking with us right now.
Como assim ele...
I'm not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Como assim ele alterou o corpo?
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
What?
Go ahead. Find it very hard to
Mano...
believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of
Eu não
us.
tô entendendo mais nada.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Não, cala a boca, Yasuhiro.
I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
Exatamente.
Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
Ele é muito bom, velho.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Mas se o Byakuya não foi quem matou, então quem seria o assassino? Quem matou o Chihiro? A única coisa que podemos ter certeza do assassino é que ele conseguiu acesso à verdadeira cena do crime, que significa que o assassino é um cara, porque ele foi morto no quarto dos garotos. Desde que o crime tenha sido no quarto dos garotos, então você precisaria de um handbook masculino para entrar. E já que o do Leon parecia estar quebrado, o assassino deve ter usado dele. Em outras palavras, ele tem que ser um cara. Mas isso ainda não é o suficiente. Eu preciso encontrar mais pistas. E é por isso que nós iremos para mais um debate. Ok, dessa vez é com a testemunha da Celeste.
Clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Como assim?
Sure, if someone saw the killer, they would have said something.
Pois é.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Foi a Celeste viu.
All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Ok, calma. Não, ainda bem que eu não peguei aquilo. Pera. Ok, eu acho que aquela afirmação da Rina é o que eu tenho que trazer o testemunho da Celeste sobre ela dizer sobre uma informação nova. Eu acho que é aqui. Não, talvez não era. Ok, vamos lá, eu acho que agora eu sei. Onde é? É na afirmação do Hiro dizendo que o assassino é o único que sabe da vítima. Que a Celeste também viu.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
Ok, até aí a gente já sabe. É verdade. Que estranho.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Que foi? Bem, é melhor eu ir indo. Eu estou com pressa.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Tudo bem, ele não queria ser descoberto, né, Sakura?
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Espera. Que?
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Eu sei?
Seriously?
What?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Como assim?
The track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that?
Nem eu tenho certeza quanto a isso. What the fuck?
You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Como que a gente vai saber isso?
You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Não.
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Talvez eu não esteja falando
But we
disso.
can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Talvez.
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
A jaqueta que a Chihiro pegou pode ter alguma pista sobre o assassino. De algum jeito, é difícil de acreditar nisso. Eu não sei do que a Kyoko tá falando, mas ok, vamos para mais um argumento. Qual é a minha pista? É, de novo, a testemunha da Celeste. Legal.
We know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
Será que ele escolheu?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
Por que ele escolheria um específico?
He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Ah, não faz sentido.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Calma aí, isso daqui talvez seja importante.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Ah,
The white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse.
Tá todo mundo comentando sobre as cores do,
Any of that really help us
da
getting
sua
closer
roupa.
to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a
Eu
chance.
não tô entendendo por que que...
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
Ah, tá certa. O que ele disse agora é bem estranho. Como que ele sabe uma coisa dessas? Espera aí.
First of all, we
Espera
know
aí.
that Chihiro was
Tá bom, eu vou gastar essa Truth Bullet e... Meu Deus, eu acho que sei o que é.
specific tracksuit that he
Holy
did.
shit. Sem chances.
I got it. He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Meu Deus, será que...
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Não! Mundo! Como você sabia que a jaqueta era azul? Holy shit, eu não acredito.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Meu Deus.
What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said,
Ah, eu vi ela com a jaqueta e a bolsa, blá 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 blá. Então assumi que ela estava indo fazer exercícios. Eu sou Celeste, eu sou muito bonita.
she never said anything about the jacket's color.
Exatamente.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just.
Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
Minha nossa, é agora.
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
Não acredito nisso, mundo.
Before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's
Não
tracksuit
acredito
was?
nisso.
Because I
Mundo.
just.
A casa caiu.